Hey guys, King of Charmander here, to be your judge, your jury, and your analyst, and today I bring to you the most powerful core, the best core for Great League Remix, which is going to be obviously the Steelix Pelipper core. It's incredibly powerful, and there's a lot of things you can pivot around, and you can take advantage of the Psychic Fangs debuff. I'm sorry, the reason why I'm like pausing for a sec is if you notice my voice is kind of back, but I'm still trying to recover. So I should be fine by tomorrow, but this usually happens all the time. It takes me like 2 days to like recover my voice, but that's okay. So I should be fine, so I can do therapy today. But yes, so just please excuse my voice as it's still recovering from me blowing my lungs out, quartering 2 wrestling tournaments back to back. But before we get started, it's gonna be my therapist mental health tip of the day. As usual, you can skip this by going to the chapters. And this is about building resilience. Now, the reason I'm talking about building resilience is because my voice is dead right now, and, you know, there's a lot of you're going to go through a rough time a lot throughout life. Life, you can be undefeated. As wrestlers, you can be 100-0, but you're not going to be defeated. The quote that I, come to go or use a lot, and my kids like a lot, is that no matter how undefeated you are in combat, you are not undefeated you may be undefeated in wrestling, but no one goes through life undefeated. That's basically it. No one goes through life undefeated. You're going to lose at something in life, so what do we have to do? We have to process it, and then we have to build our resilience. We have to get strong. It's like diamonds. When you pressure diamonds, they get stronger, right? Well, when you pressure your mind, you have to process it, and then you get stronger. And that's building resilience. So here's 10 ways to build resilience. This is from Psych Central. As usual, I love Psych Central because their articles are all reviewed by mental health professionals or by specialists in their field. It's about building resilience, and there's 10 of them here. And then the 2 of the ones that I like the most are 1, make connections. Good relationship with close family members, friends, or others are important. Accepting help and support from others, care about you, and listen to you strengthen resilience. Some people find that being active in singles groups, faith-based organizations, or other local groups provide support and help with reclaiming hope. And then with this, it's me as a coach, me doing this as PvP, etc. But me as a coach, me as a therapist, etc. Making those connections and making therapeutic connections, etc. Which helps me build my resilience. I'm literally in the thick of mental health. If you're a psychotherapist, you're battling mental illness, and you're literally in the thick of it. So that's how I build resilience. Get stronger, build those connections, etc. The next one is, the second one that I like is to move towards your goals. Develop some realistic goals. Pokemon Go PvP being a huge esport is not a realistic goal because we have too many things going on. So with that being said, this is why I'm just doing YouTube and I'm not going to compete in the regional circuit. I could definitely give everyone a handful. I definitely am capable of winning, but you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not realistic. My goal is to enter a big esport or something to develop into a big esport. And this is not going to develop into a huge esport or big esport. It's very small. So that's why that's my realistic goal, but I'm still going to do this content because I love content creation and I love this. So I'm going to keep on doing this, but I appreciate y'all. Without further ado, this is the best core for the Great League Remix. And without further ado, let's get started. All right, here are the battles. We got Steelix on Steelix action. Giant long steel rock. Okay, never. I try to make a joke out of that, but it sounds dirty every time. So I'm just going to stop. Anyways, your opponent is going to do one of 2 things. They're going to build up to Earthquake, or they're going to try to Psychic Fangs you to death. Do not throw Psychic Fangs right away. Bait. The reason you want to do this is because Psychic Fangs, even if you're debuffed, as you see here with the Dragon Tails, you're doing almost, not nothing, but if you see the disparity of damage, it's just really not doing much at all. We've already fired 2 pairs of Psychic Fangs and we're still in the green. I'm going to fire, what I usually do is I'll fire Psychic Fangs first. If I don't get a shield, I'll fire Earthquake the second one. And as you see, Earthquake goes through. If the Earthquake goes through, it'll go down. Yeah, I lost the shield because of that shield advantage, but that's okay. As you see, our opponent switches into Guzzlord against our Pelipper here, which is really great because guess what? Our opponent is using the Steelix Pelipper core just like us. It is the strongest core. However, we have Machamp. So the reason why I like Machamp in the closer is because Machamp has a lot of... If you see a Guzzlord like this, Machamp, go Machamp. Machamp, Shadow Champ. I'm using the Shadow one for the shoutcast. As you see, it's doing a ton of damage, and it's going to serve an absolute beatdown against our opponent. And with this, it's pretty much game. We still have a whole Steelix in the back. We're going to be able to break this next shield here. I'm going to fire a Cross Chop, but it's going to be... Our opponent has the shield. 90% of the time, they have the shield because if this is a Rock Slide, you die anyways. So after that, I swap into Steelix to catch the Weather Ball. The reason I'm doing this is because Weather Ball goes off, I'm just going to do as much damage as possible, or my opponent's going to blow all of their energy. And as you see here, they blow all their energy. They think they can Wing Attack me down before I can get to Rock Slide, but unfortunately that's not true because we got so much energy from Guzzlord. However, they were almost right in considering that I was either 1 or 2 Wing Attacks away from death. And as you see, I was 2 Wing Attacks away from death. So with 1 HP in a Dream and just expert management, we come out with the dub despite having a Mirror Core. Now here's what happens when you lose the lead. You stay switch into Pelipper, and if your opponent is slow on the draw, you'll have like 1 or 2 Wing Attacks full of energy. And now we're going to fire a Weather Ball. We're going to ball out like Anthony Davis did on the Lakers last night. I don't know what AD does, but if you're a basketball fan, Anthony Davis is extremely inconsistent. He will have a spout of a good run, and then he just sucks after that. It's not his fault. It's mainly due to injuries. We're going to ball out. We're going to literally ball out, and hopefully we stay consistent. More consistent than Anthony Davis. And as you see, we're breaking shields now. I have 2 options here. One, I can let my Pelipper go, but we need switch. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this, and then I'm going to go ahead and fire as many Wing Attacks as I can to go ahead and farm Frostless down. If you can go for the farm down play, do it. If you can't, then fire. But now we have a Pelipper with a bunch of energy. And then we get an Aurorus, which is great for us because since we have so much energy with Pelipper, we should be able to get the 3 Weather Balls. It's going to be a 3-point madness, just like Steph Curry. If you guys watch basketball again, Steph Curry just shot 5 full court shots for no reason. This man is an absolute monster. He's like Nezuko when she is pissed and she turns into her demon form. If you are an anime nerd, you'll know what I'm talking about. We're going to fire these Weather Balls. We take out the Aurorus, and now we're just going to go ahead and send in our Machamp against Buzzwole. This is very rough. I'm not going to lie. This is incredibly rough. I'm going to go straight Cross Chop, though, because I won't be able to get to a Rock Slide. I tried, but as you see, in the split second, I notice that I won't be able to get to it. If you feel like it, make sure you're ready to tap on that second move. Sometimes you can get to it, sometimes you won't. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to it, but you saw how in a split second I was able to hit Cross Chop. So keep that awareness. Because our opponent is so hurt, we're going to be able to survive Superpower, and then we go and Dragon Tail down for the dub. Next, we got Scizor on to Steelix. This is kind of an iffy lead. The reason being is because... Oh, give me 1 second. I swore I turned this off. That was my heater, by the way. I thought I turned off my heater, but unfortunately I didn't turn off my heater. Funny things that happens on King of Charmander streams, because when I wake up in the morning, I need to get my heater on. Anyways, as you notice, this is still going extremely slow, so it's not like it mattered anyways. So we have Dragon Tail onto Steel, and then we have Bullet Punch onto... Here's the thing. They resist everything but my Earthquake, but I resist their Iron Head. So they have to Night Slash me, and as you see, they don't get the boost. And our opponent is being pressured to shield. But as you see here, you can choose to let it go, or you can choose to win this matchup out. I choose to let it go because I can send in Pelipper and get one Wing Attack full. There's 2 options. You can keep alignment, or you can come out with Shield Advantage, and I came out with Shield Advantage. As you see here, coming out with Shield Advantage is the way. Unfortunately, it's a knockdown. I'm gonna go build up to Hurricane. Always build up to your second move, and then fire your low energy move. You want to go up to the high energy move because you want to try to debate your opponent. Even if I don't get the Hurricane, that's perfectly fine. As you see, double Weather Ball still does close enough, still does a close and good chunk of damage. This is like giving me a Sky Attack. I don't want my Machamp in the back. So now my opponent is either kind of sensing it, or they might be sensing it right now. I'm going to go ahead and double shield these Sky Attacks because I don't know what my opponent has in the back. Knockdown goes for Psychic. I don't know why you don't have Weather Ball, and then I'm going to go ahead and farm it down. The reason I'm doing this is because with a little bit of energy lead, I might be able to come out with a dub, and it's a Ludicolo. This is very interesting because now with all this, the reason why I'm going to send in Machamp is because I don't know what they have in the back, and I can Cross Chop damage puts your opponent in a lot of danger, as you see here. So now I might lose Machamp here to this Ice Beam. That's perfectly fine. All I have to do is Wing Attack down for the dub, because there's no way my opponent gets to another move. With the Wing Attack buff too, Wing Attack was buffed by 1 damage. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it can give you a lot more opportunity for those farm down plays, like you saw me doing here in this shoutcast. Next, we have Toxapex on the Steelix. This is actually rough for you because Brine, even though it's resisted, this thing can still get to a lot of Brines. So we're going to Psychic Fangs and Dragon Tail through. But you're going to see just how much damage Brine does. So even though Toxapex has a very low attack, Brine still does a decent chunk of damage. As you see here, we're pretty even in that department. I'm able to debuff them here with my Psychic Fangs, but the thing is, they have control. Because Brine, Poison Jab, or Poison Sting gets there so fast, our opponent's going to get the 3 Brines before we can get to another move. So as you see in the zeros, Brines are going through. Our opponent's going to get to another Brine, but they choose to give it up in terms of Psychic. You win the 2 shield, but it's very rough. You both have choice on what you want to do. So as you see here, they eat the Psychic Fangs, and I'm going to send in my Pelipper. The reason you do this is because I want, if they send in a Mon in, try to debuff them before you send in Pelipper so your Weather Balls do more damage. Especially in a situation for a Charmer like here, because we want to keep Machamp away from Charmers and Flyers. So as you see, I'm going to start pulling my shields here. My opponent's probably going to start, if my opponent's smart, they're going to start sensing, they're like, oh, okay, he's weak to Charm in the back. So what I'm going to do here is Weather Ball. They're either going to let them go or start shielding. Now my opponent senses it, they shield, but they didn't know I can get to 2. But with this second Weather Ball at -1, this will KO, and it will take out our opponent's Wigglytuff. As tough as you are, unfortunately, you do not GG's. We're going to send in Steelix here. I'm hoping my opponent blows their energy, and they do not, which was kind of odd, because I'm pretty sure you did have a, I'm pretty sure you had a Brine. Psychic Fangs goes off, and then we're just going to send a Machamp and we win. It's that simple. We don't even need a Cross Chop at this point. We could just shield and then farm down, but Guzzlord's in the back. A lot of people are using Guzzlords in the closer. I don't like it just because, but as you see, this is why Machamp is such a strong closer, or is such a strong closing Mon. And you're going to see that on display over here. We got Steelix on Steelix action once more. We got the beads on beads. The steel beads on steel beads. Please do not report my channel. I did not say anything, but my imagination, you know, this is what happens when you serve 7 years in the military. Your mind is very tainted. As you see here, I'm going straight for that Earthquake. So this time around, you don't see me go for the Psychic Fangs. I want to show you what happens if you go through the Earthquake. And they shield it, which was very impressive. But here's another option you could do too. You could just go straight Earthquake. You can try to debate, or you could straight Earthquake. As you see here, my opponent is straight Psychic Fangs, and I don't know why. Because straight Psychic Fangs, the thing is, straight Psychic Fangs, you're going to blow a ton of energy, and I'm living, Steelix is so tanky, you live a ton of things. And now our opponent sends in Pelipper. Remember what I told you about debuffing before you send out? So I'm going to debuff before I send out. And now this puts our opponent in a lot of danger, because now we can just straight Weather Ball. If your opponent say switches a Pelipper, like you see here, just debuff them and go straight into Weather Ball. And our opponent made a huge mistake because of the fact that they blew all of their energy on their Steelix. So their Steelix has no energy, and now I'm going to be able to fully farm down this Pelipper. No matter what our opponent has in the back, it's going to be rough for them, because now we have such a huge energy lead on Pelipper, and they have a Frostless. So even though, so this is a mirror team, they're just using Frostless as a closer. Well, a mirror core, but they're just using Frostless as the closer. As you see here, the reason I like Machamp in the back is because it puts so much pressure on your opponent. I don't know why fighters are so underrated, but this is why you probably see like double flyers and stuff coming out here. But like, even then, because Machamp has such a high damage output, as you see here, our opponent's in the zeros. And now with shield advantage, we're going to be able to just absolutely destroy our opponent. Their Pelipper is so low in the back that all I have to do is cross shot them for the dub. And as you see, we're just going to be able to farm down here. And that's not the Pelipper, that's Steelix. But the Steelix, like I mentioned, it's weak to Machamp. And then Cross Chop will just absolutely just annihilate them. We're going to be able to farm down here. And then we're going to be able to Cross Chop down the Frostless for the W. I hope y'all enjoyed the shoutcast. Machamp is insane closer. And this is the most powerful core in Steelix and Pelipper. That's why you see it around a lot everywhere. And I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. And that's GG's. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm gonna keep the closing a little short, just because I need to recover my voice. So I'm gonna try to keep my vocal cords as much rest as possible, especially since I have to do therapy. I mean, I can still carry myself. I can still carry therapy. It's just, especially in the room, but yeah, just want to make sure I keep this, because I need my voice if I'm going to be a good mental health professional and a clinician. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this season. And then I believe, let me take a look. I believe Fighting Cup Remix is next, right? Fighting Cup Remix. Yeah, Fighting Cup Remix, the Great League Edition is next. And I don't know what they mean by Great League Edition. I think what they mean, they're gonna go do an Ultra League Edition at one point, which is really stupid. Instead of inventing newer cups, you're just recycling old cups, which is really dumb and really lazy. Very lazy, especially since Ultra League specialized cups are very heavily run over by XLs. Like I mentioned, high barrier to entry is not the way. If we're going to make this accessible to more players and we're going to grow PvP, it needs to be lower barrier to entry. And I don't understand why your more popular content creators are advocating for that. The way we grow PvP is not by kissing Niantic's ass, but I guess being a full-time content creator is more important to you than actually fucking fighting for PvP. And I apologize for my cursing here and there, but that's just the truth. I remember a long time ago when I was here since the beginning when PvP first started. The reason you don't see me vibe with it, because I hate fake people. And a lot of your full-time content creators are fake people. They're very fake. They're nice, but they're fake because they go through their own selfish wishes. You want to grow and advocate towards PvP. The reality is the only thing you care about is doing this full-time, making money. That's what happens when money becomes more important than your community. Because if you weren't like that, you would be fighting so much more towards PvP and fixing PvP and these mistakes like higher barrier to entry and only making it so you and your little collective group are the ones growing and benefiting while everybody else can't enter and join that group. It's really sad how it is. But I said I would lose my voice. I said I would rest my voice, so I'm gonna rest it at that. I really do appreciate y'all. I will always advocate and fight for the better tomorrow. And without further ado, good luck on your Go Battle League sets. Please like and subscribe and comment for the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you guys on the next video.